Okay, let's continue with the builder pattern. The builder pattern is a creational design pattern that allows you to construct complex objects step by step. That's a key point. Step by step, separating the construction process from the final representation. Separating the construction process. That means that you are going to build things step by step, and in the final representation, you're going to get that representation by a build method when you already want to get it. Okay, we're going to see that in a minute. This makes it possible to create different versions of an object using the same construction process. So, what is it similar to? It's like build building a hamburger in the order that you want, or building you know Legos, uh, working with Legos and build whatever you want to build, and in the order that you want to do it. It is similar to building a house step by step: foundation, walls, roof, preparing a custom burger, bread, meat, toppings, assembling a Lego structure piece by piece. The key idea is the same process can produce different results depending on the parts used. Okay, let's see this. I got for you the most used uh, representation of it. Maybe the example that is the most common example in PHP developing, uh, queries in SQL. I just called this class builder controller, but it could be called query controller because what it does is it helps you to create a query using different methods of the class query builder. And in a moment, we're going to see the query builder, but let me explain to you that once you create an instance of it, then you get an object, right? And this object, you can use it to add uh, mm, the table name, which is users, and then you can build something else using this method, and then you pass the ID, name, and email. These are going to be the columns of your query, and then you can use the where method to add certain criteria, a filter, and another where to look for status equal to active, and an order uh, by the field name, and then in the order ascendant. And then when you got all this, you finally built your uh, well your select your query. Let's see the query builder so we can understand this better. So what we can see here is that we have a string private property called table, which is going to store the name of the table, right? Users. The columns, this is an array. Where is an array also. In order by is also an array. So we got the table function here, and we got the select here. And what it does is store the table, it stores the columns. And if we go down, we can see that we also store the where clause here in uh, the order clause, and we receive a field in the direction, and then we are storing that information here. And finally, when you execute the build method, what it does is it starts to create a string, uh, starting from the word select, and then it is concatenating here. And if the columns array is empty, then it will use an asterisk. And if it is not empty, then it will use the columns array, and then it will implode. So this will create a string of the different columns followed by comma, and then and a space here, and then the from uh, word, and then the table, and then it continues concatenating here where, and also the order by is being concatenated here, and it uses the value of this order by, and then it returns the query. Here you return the query, but in all those methods, look what is being returned. It's being returned this, return this, and return this. What does that mean? Well, here you are not returning a string. You are returning the the object itself is being returned. So it's like uh, it's like you're building something, you're doing something here, and then that object is going back so you can build something else. So in the next method, you're building something, and then once you have done that, you are returning this, which returns the object again. So you can add or you can build something else, and then you create something else, and you return the same object again. That's why you can do this. You know, you're doing this, and every time you're doing this, you are returning the same object. So you can add more functionality, so you can build more things. And when you finally have done that, then you execute this build method, and then you return not an instance, but you return whatever you want to return. In this case, you are returning a string called query. This time, you're not using return this, you're using return query, because you finally want to get uh, the object that you are that thing that you are building, right? In this case, you're building a string to make a query. So that's basically the builder pattern. You are going to see so many times these kind of things when using Laravel, when uh, building queries, or many other frameworks do the same thing, like G2 and many others. So that's it. That was the builder pattern. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening. Before I just before I go, I can execute this again, and then you can see how to select the columns from users. This is the table where this is the value of the filter, the status active, ordered by, named by uh, the asked method. So that was build a pattern. Thank you for listening, and bye bye.